Last time in episode 3, we looked at pendulums and how we can be fooled by the motion that we see. But when we're measuring force, well, that's pretty straightforward, right? After all, a scale is a scale, right? One side goes down, the other side goes up. We see the difference. Simple. Except there's a little more to it than that. A balance beam or a spring scale responds to forces. That's what it's designed to do. But it doesn't know why those forces are there. It doesn't know whether we're looking at a steady load, a load in motion, acceleration, vibration, or a sudden transfer of momentum. It simply responds to what's acting on it. And when you're trying to measure mechanical pulses, unintended motion becomes a real problem. Things could be bouncing and jumping. Balance beams and scales respond to that motion too. That's why damping can actually be quite useful. A damper helps control the motion of the measuring mechanism so that we can observe the intended force much more clearly. Unfortunately, there's a balance to that too. Too little damping and we're watching the scale bounce around. Too much damping and we can suppress the very response we're trying to observe. And there's something else that we can't really ignore. The thing that you're testing and the test stand itself become a part of the same test system. A small mechanism on a bench is one thing, but put that same mechanism on a vehicle weighing thousands of pounds and you've changed the entire mechanical system. The same pulse that produces obvious but erratic movement on a lightweight fixture may produce a much smaller but more controlled acceleration when connected to a much larger mass. That doesn't mean that one measurement is real and the other one isn't. It means that they are simply different mechanical systems. And that's especially important when we're dealing with something like the pi, because pi doesn't operate in isolation. There are rotating masses, momentum, timing, and very sudden changes in the direction of the momentum. So if we want to understand what the machine is actually doing, we need to look inside the machine itself. And that's where we're going next time. So until then, this is Brian, and I'm asking, what's on your work?